Hey everybody, this is Javi, and you are watching the Bowtie Psychic here on YouTube. I'm a psychic and intuitive medium who focuses on divination and storytelling to help people overcome generational trauma. And this is this video, this message is the Daily Messenger video for the September, it was for September 19th, 2019 season. So, oof, oh Jesus, okay. When I tapped in, for one, I'm glad that you are here and you're watching the video. I really appreciate it. Um, I appreciate your energy. I appreciate your time, and I'm very grateful that you are, here watching the video. I really appreciate it. Um, I am dedicated to folks who are struggling with trauma, struggling with, generational trauma in particular, um, and just being a teacher, for those who are working towards, overcoming that and using the power of the ancestors, not just from this lifetime, but many lifetimes, to basically, to heal, to do everything they can to help you heal. And so I tapped into the energy for September 19th, and I got this anger around the world, like this anger, not a hopelessness, but an anger. I got that the world, a lot of people feel that the world as we know it is falling apart. The world as we know it is dying and like receding into itself, and so people are angry at that. I'm getting global warming. People are angry at global warming. People are angry at how nature is being treated, and don't. And the reason why that came up is because when people think of generational trauma, they don't think of the environment and how the environment plays a huge part in our growth and a huge part in how we treat the world. And so when we heal, so does the world. Because we treat the world, we treat our environment, we treat nature with the respect and the kindness that we are now giving ourselves, right? And so what I'm getting from this is that people who are coming into their awareness, who are coming into their power, they are now realizing that the world, the environment, is basically their respite. And so they don't want their respite to be fucked up. You know what I mean? They don't want their respite to disappear because of capitalism, because of colonialism, because of all these external factors that that are associated with white supremacy and white power, or that lack of divinity that started that the lack of divinity that a lot of white people have felt within themselves, um, that brought us, white supremacy to begin with. And so a lot of people, a lot of indigenous people, a lot of people, people of color, black folks and non-black folks of color, who are now seeing this beautiful environment, who are now seeing the world as it is, who who actually have ancestors, who have connected to this world in a way that that promotes healing. They use the the leaves in the plants in the power of the animals. They use all of that. Okay, they connected to nature in that way, and there's this anger and this urgency when it comes to the environment. And so I'm just getting that people, as the world comes, like, it's no coincidence that a lot of this urgency is happening, and a lot of this transformation is happening in September, the ninth month. Okay, the number nine is a very extremely powerful number. Okay, and so what's happening is that people are getting fed up, people are getting angry, people are feeling like they are not being heard, and so what's happening is that they're now using their voice. They're now using their voice to elevate this, like they're elevating their voices. They're letting themselves be heard through activism, whether it be street activism, online activism, literary activism. They're letting themselves be known and be heard. They're going to their representatives. There are people who are doing shit that's more radical. Like I said, such as street activism, um, online activism, spiritual activism. Basically, shamans are going out, and using like using their ancestral powers, or their ancestral gifts, to to promote the importance of this earth and how we are to be taking care of it. And because what the reason why this is so important is because, as I said before, historical and generational trauma is very connected, or our healing from it is very much connected to land, very much connected to the earth, very much connected to how the world treats this earth, especially outsiders or people, or colonialists or capitalists who come in and tear up entire rainforests or entire rivers and lakes, in order for them to basically capitalize, you know, off of this destruction, to capitalize off of the damage they're causing the earth. And so don't be surprised if you see another article or another think piece, or you see, like, especially tomorrow, you're going to see a lot of, you're probably going to see a lot of activists, a lot of articles around, ooh, I'm just feeling a lot of anger because people are tired. People are tired. People are tired of seeing this earth being messed up. People are tired of seeing this earth being ripped to shreds by capitalists. People are being tired of, seeing the homes and the villages of entire indigenous villagers, indigenous tribes, not villagers, excuse me, but tribes being ripped to fucking shreds. People are tired of that. And now people are going to, we gotta do something about this. Don't, like I said, don't be surprised when people start using their abilities and their powers. And I'm seeing a lot of drumming people, like indigenous people who use drumming. I'm seeing a lot of warrior energy. They're like, we gonna do something about this. Like, do not be surprised if people, like, if you start seeing protests, not if tomorrow, like starting tomorrow, you're gonna see a lot of starting um like starting this month, towards the end of the month, and going towards October. Don't be surprised. I think a lot of, and the reason why this comes out, like I just told my spirit, like, you are to tell the world this. You are to tell the world what's going on. Okay. Um, I'm just seeing that people are going to be, like, indigenous people are they're going to be using their powers. They're going to be using their energy. They're like, people are ready to fight at this point. I'm not talking about like fisticuff, but usually they're going to fight for this earth. They're going to fight for the planet. They're going to be fighting for their homes. Um, there's a whole nother generation. There's a whole new generation of people, generation of young people who are coming into their spiritual, their spirituality and their spiritual powers and their spiritual gifts, and they're seeing how important how important nature played a significant part. They're going to see how they. Let me back up because I don't know if I'm making any sense. Um, they see how important nature is because nature played a huge part in their spiritual growth. There's a lot of people who are literally, like, doing energy exchanges with trees. There are people who are connecting to animals, in the forests or in wooded areas. There are people who are meditating outside. There are people who are, yeah, I'm just seeing people meditating outside, walking around in forests, enjoying the rain, enjoying the sunshine, and it helps with their depression and anxiety in ways. And I'm not saying that not. Please don't stop taking your medication, or if you're on depressed antidepressants or anti-anxiety medication. I'm not here for that. Like, I'm not, for one, I'm not a doctor, and I also believe that medication can literally help people. But there are people who have literally, like, either stopped taking their medication, or thinking about taking their medication, uh, or of not, yeah, of not taking their medication because of the experiences they have outside. Even the snow, for some people, um, is more cleansing than anything else. So the I'm getting that generation of people, this generation of people, this generation of people who are just coming through and experiencing nature at its fullest, all four seasons if possible. Even the water, like, people are like cleansing in water. People are um, cleansing their auras, in seawater. People are just doing all kinds of stuff. Um, because it has everything to do with them connecting to their higher self. Okay? Um, so do not be surprised if you see like a whole generation of activists out here saying like, no, we're not going to do this today. And they do some guerrilla shit because um, maybe they feel like the representatives are not working hard enough, or they're not working fast enough, or they don't trust the system in any way, shape, or form. I'm getting that we are to work together, but there are going to be people who are not going to trust they're not going to trust. Um, they're going to take things into their own hands, not to the point of causing or creating violence, but they're going to take matters into their own hands because they feel like because even though there are people who have faith in the system. There are people who feel like the system is the issue and the problem, and they don't trust the system as a result, and they're going to go guerrilla. They're going to go straight radical with their environmentalism. So just be aware that that's going to be happening if towards the end of this month and within October, because October is actually like an action. The number 10. October is the 10th month, and so the number 10 is an action-oriented number. It's about starting over. Number 9 is about completion. Number 10 is about starting over and taking the actions necessary to start over. And basically, it's like a reset number where people are like, there's this new energy that's happening. There's this new energy that's coming through. And people are like, okay, what are we going to do for the environment? What are we going to do to spread awareness about the environment, and how it can literally connect us, not tear us apart. So I'm here for it. I'm just getting be ready because there's going to be people fighting for this environment. So that is the intuitive message that I received for this. Ooh, I'm just feeling all this warrior energy. I'm feeling all this warrior energy, like, for real. Like, people are really going to start fighting for this earth. Um, so if that resonated with you in any way, shape, or form, please like and subscribe to the channel. Yes, like, push that bell so you won't, miss another video. Um, it's only going to get interesting from here, I promise you. Um, and also, you can share the video. You can comment, share. I would love to hear what you have to say um, about the intuitive message. So, moving on, I pulled some cards here. It's a combination of a couple of decks. I'm using, again, the Modern Spellcasters Tarot. I highly recommend it. It's very elemental. It's definitely something to. If you, for some odd reason, cannot connect to the Rider Waite deck, this is really cool. But I do recommend that you use the Rider Waite deck if you are starting out, or at least learn about it. Also, I am using um, the Messenger Oracle deck as well. I love this deck. It's very much. It's also a very elemental deck, but it also reminds me of shamanism. So that's what I am using this for. Spirit told me to use this, and that's what I'm doing. And I really do like this deck. So let's get started with the cards. So the first card I got was the Six of Wands. I'm gonna be real honest with you. This is not. I got the wands. I got a few of those here. Um, outside of the one Oracle card that I pulled, so I just got nothing but action cards. Basically, what this said here, um, there's going to be, like I said before, like this young person in the card, she's basically leading the charge. She's basically, or they, like the gender of the, and I'm going to say before I even start, the gender of the cards don't matter. Um, Even though like they have men and women, boys and girls, the gender of the card does not matter. Okay, moving on. They are basically leading this charge here. The person who was like the leader who's standing here, I noticed that she or they are wearing the color red here, and red and gold, those are power colors. Red is passion, gold is basically like if I'm not mistaken, is basically like um a leadership color, royalty. I'm getting. Yes, that's what I'm getting, like a royalty color, leadership color. Signifies leadership. So basically, this card is saying that you are going to have or see leaders, when it comes to the environment, and when it comes to the things that are very passionate about, they are going to be leading the charge on the environment, what's happening with the environment. And that's actually happening now. There's a young woman, um, her name is Greta. She is in her teens. She is very much, unfortunately, I do not know her last name, but she is like one of the youngest people out here, basically saying like, look, um, we are to be on the same team. She was not too long ago. She shook the hand of Barack Obama, former President Barack Obama. She was like, we're on the same team, and basically, that's what I'm getting from Spirit as far as working with world leaders and working with the people, if not world leaders, then radical environmentalist leaders who are about change, who are really about change, who are really about not just sitting behind a desk and doing nothing. This young person, she or they are basically saying like, look, we got to do something. We have to do something. Don't And basically, because of her knowledge, because of what they are able to, um, because of their knowledge, and because of their experiences, and because they're just an overall leader, people are listening to them. People are listening to them, and they are willing to be led by this person. And so what that card is basically saying is that knowledge is very much powerful. Knowledge and experience, and seeing, and seeing people resonating with that power. Um, that's what people are looking for. People are looking for action. People are looking for change. People are looking for leaders who resonate with them, who resonate with what's going on. They're not doing sound bites. They're not just saying uh, they're saying things. They're not just talking out of the side of their neck. They know what's going on, and as a result of them what's going on, knowing what's going on, people are like, yeah, this person knows what I'm talking about because I've experienced those same things. I've experienced um, a lot of what that person's talking about. They have solutions. They know what's happening. I want to know what they have to say. I want to see what happens. Okay? Where people are looking for leaders at this point, they're not looking for sound bites. And that's what this card is saying. Like, like Spirit is like, yo, this person in the picture is leading the charge, and that's what's happening. Okay, we're looking for leaders. We're looking for real ride or die leaders who are willing to sacrifice being liked, being loved, being appreciated, because being an activist is a thankless job. The world and the people within this world, when it comes to environmentalism and things that are connected to environmentalism, are looking for that, and they're also looking for leaders who are going to put spiritualism and spirituality into their work. Because again, this, like, what happens to our earth is because of how we feel on the inside, we feel within ourselves. It's because of how we feel about ourselves. You connect with the earth because you love yourself. And the reason why you love yourself is because you've done the work to overcome your generational trauma, your historical trauma, and the earth plays a huge part in that. It plays a huge part in that. There's reciprocity. And a real environmental leader, a real person, or a real leader who studies environmentalism and also can connect the dots between how a person feels about themselves and how they feel about the earth, because they know it's a spiritual connection, they get it. And they're going to have other people get it as well. I'm also getting the Seven of Wands. This person is like this leader. Now they have a whole charge of people looking out for them and looking to them for answers, and looking to them to grow as people. Okay, now they're like, what else can we do here? Now I have people like looking at me for answers, or looking to to learn from me. What can I do now? You're looking to the future. It's not just not the here and now. Real leaders in this world, especially those who are working for the environment, knows that this is not just a one-day job. This is something that is going to require a lot of work. This is something that's going to require a lot of brainstorming, and not just brainstorming, but follow through. And so this person is now looking like, okay, what can we do now? And that's what a lot of us are being asked to do. A lot of us who are like loving the environment and working with the environment in some way, shape, or form, we're asking, what can we do now? What now? It's not just about sound bites. It's not just about it's not just about me just saying shit. It's not just about me looking pretty on the stage. Now I'm like, now we have to work together. Now what can we do to work together, right? Because it's one thing to have ideas. It's one thing to have ideas about what we can do to make this world better. But it's another thing for us to follow through and to have a vision. And that's another thing too with this card. Let me pick it up real quick. This card right here, this person has a vision. This person has a vision as to what this looks like. It's not just something that they just like, oh, I'm going to get on the stage and look pretty and sound nice and sound powerful. This person is looking at to have their eyes on the prize, and they're doing it with Spirit's help. That's why they're looking. They're like, what can we do now? What can I do with Spirit's help? What can I do that is going to have that's tangible and that's going to have results? And not just results, long-term, timeless results. Everyone wants, and this is not when it comes to environmentalism or anything involving politics, is you're in it for the long haul. You're not in it, to look cute. I'm gonna be real honest with you. Like, I've been around activists who just be saying shit because they want to look good on camera. But what the leaders that I am referring to, and I'm referring to people who are leaders in this game. This video is for y'all. Okay? Spirit wanted me to talk to you. People who are using their spirituality to make this world better somehow, especially when it comes to the environment. The environment, this is not going to happen in one day, 2 months, 5 years. It's not going to be like that. Have y'all been paying attention? Now I know y'all have been paying attention. In 50 years, the world there's this article that says that within 50 years, um, the human race will be wiped out. In 50 years, like the icebergs are going to be gone. This ain't a game. And so, what that card is saying is that we are to have sustainable plans. And while even when I was like tapping into um, this, tapping into spirit and tapping into that world, I got straight out and flat out from spirit, a plan is to be in place. There's a time for us to be strategic. There's a time for us to start thinking about how to incorporate spirituality into politics and into our radical work. I'm not even talking about the White House or any of these governmental agencies. Because let's be real, they're the reasons why this shit's going on. I'm talking about people who are on the ground. What are we gonna do? Because we cannot count on we can't count on we just can't count on our leaders. We can't count on the leaders, at least not wholeheartedly, at least not completely, if at all. It's time for us to start doing some planning of our own. It's time for us to count on ourselves, to count on each other. It's time for us to look at this world and see, like, what can we do on a communal level to help this environment, to help ourselves, because we need this environment. I got the Page of Wands. This card is usually about good news or receiving a message. And so what I'm getting is that we are to listen to each other. We are to listen to each other. We are to listen to each other's messages. We are to listen to each other's thoughts and our solutions. We are to, and I'm talking about, again, I'm talking about grassroots activists, grassroots environmental activists, people who are on the ground, people who are on the ground. We are to listen to them, or listen. I'm going to talk about them, and we are to listen to each other. This is not because, again, this is not. We are to learn. And that's another thing too. The page, what people may not know or may know, is that the page is actually one who learns, one who listens, one who is always, always eager to learn, always eager to listen to the message, right? Always the one with notes and the pen and pad, right? That's what is happening in this card. People, we are to listen to one another, like we are to listen to each other's thoughts. I'm getting to that. This is not shocking to me that, this card came up and that he's listening to birds or they're listening to birds, because we are also to listen to nature. This is another way for spiritual environmentalists to listen to the earth. The earth speaks to us. Nature speaks to us. Animals speak to us. Okay? Why do you think that, we can get along with cats, or we can get along with dogs, or we understand where they're coming from? In their own way, they're speaking to us. In our own way, we understand what they're saying and what they are looking for, because of the way they communicate with us. Of course, they're not using what we consider words, but they use sounds and they use gestures and they physical gestures, and that's how they communicate. They talk to us through their own way of barking, meowing, chirping with birds. They are communicating. Spirit is asking us through that the Page of Wands card to do the same exact thing. Okay, again, it's about reciprocity and community in nature communicates with us. They give the earth gives to us, we are to give to it, but we're also to we can listen to each other as well. I remember one time I did like a energy exchange with a tree, and it literally like energetically spoke to me. They do speak to you. That's why you ask permission, to you ask you ask the tree, or before you even do an energy exchange, you ask permission because they may not want you there. But this tree wanted me to communicate with it, and that's what I did. It was very young. It was waiting for someone to connect with it. It was a very kind spirit. So that's what I'm talking about. That's why, energy exchanges and connecting with with trees and connecting with rocks and connecting with the water is so important because it speaks to us. Plants speak to us. They know when it's being hurt. If we listen to the trees, if we listen to the nature that is around us, they have a whole story in and of itself. It has a whole story to tell us, the entire story. If you can touch a tree that's like 1, 2, or 10 years old, could you imagine, connecting to plants in the Amazon rainforest or in the Congo or places where there's this vegetation everywhere. There are plants everywhere, and they're hurting. This card is basically saying that we are to listen, like literally listen and literally communicate with the earth so we can hear its story and we can see how much it's hurting. With permission, touch a tree. With permission, pick up a rock. With permission, play in the water. Connect with the water. Stand outside on a windy day and ask it to speak to you. Ask the wind to connect with you. That's what we're being asked to do. Because the more that we connect with Earth in that manner as well, because that could also help with generational trauma and historical trauma because there's healing involved as well, especially historical trauma. Connecting with the Earth could help with historical trauma as well. And the more we talk to the Earth, the more that we are willing to see why it's hurting, see where it's coming from, see what's going on in terms of its connection with the human race. And the more we listen to it, the more we realize that it has a story and something needs to be done. Something needs to be done. I can't like stress enough how I told you all the many ways where there's even I'm telling you now. Thank you, sir. There's studies that there's like I remember there was an article that I read a long time, and I should find these articles too. Um, but there was like this article like years ago about black women who who connect with each other in nature. They went went to a retreat in the woods, and they did all these exercises, these like releasing exercises, and they said that this was the best thing that ever happened to them because they don't have technology around them. They didn't have any sort of distractions, the type of distractions they would see in the city or experience in the city, or in a metro area. And they were able to tap into the spiritual part of themselves just by being in nature. They were able to connect with each other, and they were able to use parts of nature, you know, and parts of the elements to find to find themselves. I remember before I transitioned, I was part of an organization called Woman Within, and it's called Woman Within International. And so I remember going there to their retreat. It was someplace in New York. I don't exactly remember. And they're international, so they're everywhere. But the first place I went to was a place in New York, um, and I remember it being in a semi wooded area, and we had like this. We had like this drum circle. I won't go into detail because they don't want us to do all that. They don't want people who went through it to go through all the details. But I remember like there was a drumming circle and there were like a lot of women who were there, and I distinctly remember the beating of the drum and the feeling the grass and beneath my feet, and the moon was out. I distinctly remember the full moon being out, and it was beautiful. It was magical. And I remember being completely, for at least for that weekend, I felt very connected to spirit. And that's because I was outside. So I say all that. Said a couple of those stories because I feel like this is a time for us to start listening to nature and start listening to where, how it feels. Because the earth is going through trauma right now. The earth is going through trauma. It's being burned alive almost. It's literally being burned alive. It's doing everything it can to repair itself. But as anyone connecting with spirit or anyone connected to the earth and saying like, look, how do you feel? We're doing all this stuff. The human race is doing all this stuff to you. How do you feel? It will give us a deeper understanding of why it's so important for us to connect with the earth, save this environment, do everything we can to preserve what was freely given to us by spirit, by science. So it's just that I can go on and on and on, but this is also the time for us to ask the environment in some way, shape, or form how it's doing, and what can we do to preserve it, to assist it. Those who are connected to spirit and those who are using their gifts to do environmentalist work. Well, we also have the Empress card. The Empress card is a very powerful one. It's basically about feminine energy, about feminine warrior energy, motherly energy. And basically, what this card is saying is that we must treat the earth with kindness and respect. We must learn from these leaders, from the leaders, the guerrilla gang leaders, environmentalist leaders, to treat the world with respect, with kindness, and to protect it as if we were protecting our own child. Because by the end of the day, like Mother Nature, Mother Nature is pretty much within our care. She's to be our mother. She is our mom. Mother Nature is a mother for a reason. Like, she's taking care of us right now. She's taking care of me right now. Mother Nature is the reason why we're doing this video right now. Where do you think electricity came from? That's part of Mother Nature. It's part of the environment. We must not take this planet for granted. Just like we wouldn't take a parent or a guardian who has not hurt us for granted. Even if our guardians were, our parents or our guardians were abusive towards us, Mother Nature stepped in some way, shape, or form. At least see it that way, because she's taking care of us. That's what this card is saying. We are to literally fight for this earth, because she's done so much to take care of us. Therefore, we are to do what we can to take care of her. All right. I'm just getting a lot of parental energy from that card. A lot of parental energy from the card. Like fertility, I'm getting to. Fertility. You know, the Empress actually reminds me, if you are familiar with, Greek mythology and all, reminds me of Demeter. Demeter she acts as Mother Nature. She is the mother of harvesting. And so, if you don't know that story, please do the research. But basically, she's the reason why we have. She explained, according to the story, she's the reason why we have food to eat. She's the reason why we have clothes on our back during certain parts of the year. She feeds us. She clothes us. She gives us water. She makes sure that we're okay. That's what the Demeter reminds me of, or the Empress reminds me of, Demeter or Demeter. This is no different. Like, Mother Nature is the reason why we have clothes. Clothes are made out of certain fabrics that came from this earth. She's the reason why the sun is out. She's the reason why we have lights on. She's the reason why, you have a house. You need wood for a house, right? That has come from a tree, which came from nature. You get me? So basically, this is if we are to take from Mother Nature, we are to give back to Mother Nature, because she acts like a mom. She is basically a very loving parent that's waiting for us to get our shit together. That's why it is so important to listen to the leaders, to listen to it. I'm just getting a leadership card. This is the reason why it's time for us to step up. It's time for us to step up and be leaders, or to at least follow somebody who gets it, or to work with someone, not follow, but work with someone who gets it. We are to take charge of how we're treating this earth and have long-term plans, and to listen to each other, and to listen to the earth, and actually ask the environment how it's doing and what they wish us to do. Okay? Because it's just time, like, we human beings out here, especially capitalists and imperialists and colonialists, they're out here fucking up, and they're doing it for profit. It's not okay. That's why it's so important that we take action. That's what this card is saying. Like, the Knight is taking action. The Knight is very. What I'm getting from this card is is very angry and is very fed up, and so they are like, "We're gonna do this today," and that's what I'm getting from this card, the Knight of Wands, the Knight of Wands, because they're just tired. I'm also getting as far as egos too. Yes, even though that we are to be very active, we are to have spirit in mind as well. We are to be connected to spirit. We are to take, when it comes to any sort of action, tap into spirit to see if that's the action to take. Because sometimes our egos get in the way. Our egos get in the way to the point where we just say like, "Oh, we just gonna do whatever," and we end up causing more harm than good. That's why it's very important for us to ask Mother Nature, to ask nature, what do you need from us? What would you like us to do? How are you doing? How are we to proceed? That's why it's so important for us to tap into spirit, to tap into spirit, ask for spirit to lead our actions when it comes to environmentalism, when it comes to connecting with nature, when it comes to saving the environment. What are we to do? Because the last thing that we are to do is to do something based on ego, and we end up causing ourselves harm, causing the movement harm, causing the communities more harm than not, just simply because we have that warrior energy, and we are to fight. There are people who are actually one of the, like, I'm getting that there are people, especially radical individuals, who are just like ready to fit, like literally fisticuff somebody, or literally go off on somebody, or literally like just like allow all this energy to like push them through as far as the environmental work, and they're going to end up doing something they're not supposed to. I'm just getting that egos, especially if we're working, especially when it comes to like political work, egos are to be put in check. Egos are to be put in check. Even look, even the hawk is mad. You know what I mean? Like it's just time um, for us to just lead and like to start leading, and but we are to do it with some common sense. Okay, do it with common sense. Act, but do it with spirit in mind. Meditation is very important at this time too. Self care is very important at this time as well, because all that anger, all that passion is going to burn someone out. So this is a time for us to also. That's why spirit is so connected with spirit when doing any sort of political work is so important, because you can, by not um, taking care of yourself, practicing self care, you can literally cause yourself more trauma than not. Because now you're burning out. Now you are, and when you're burning out, let's be real. When people are burning out, their tempers fly. Words coming out of your mouth that don't make no sense. People start talking off the side of their neck and snapping on each other. People start acting in a way that's completely out of character, because they're burned out, and they're like running on ego, running on E, right? Running on E. So when you're doing any sort of work, make sure you're taking care of yourself. Okay, just take care of yourself. But also, like, please, like, when you are taking the charge and you are out there doing the work, saving the environment, doing your thing, doing the environment for the environment, do it with a clear mind, do it with a plan, with a plan executed, or with a plan in mind. Execute, you know what I mean? Um, be aware, follow up, and do it with the environment in mind, the community in mind. I'm just kidding. Don't do this by yourself. I'm talking about the leaders of this whole thing. The leaders or people who are being driven to work to do this environmentalist work, to take charge. You're being asked to take care of yourself and not to do this by yourself. Spirit is to be spirit, your ancestors, wise ones, guardian angels, your archangels, the ascended masters you work with. They are to be the ones. They're all there to be the line of defense for you when you are doing this work, especially your ancestors, not from this life, not just from this lifetime, but many others. They are to be present when you are out there doing the work. Make no decision without them. That's how people are messed up now. They just out here just doing stuff. But because this work is so important, Spirit, I can't stress that enough. I'm saying it one more again. Do not do this by yourself. Do not do this by yourself. Have people and your spirit squad ready to fight for you, ready to protect you when you're doing this work. Surround yourself with people. If you're going to be a leader in this, surround yourself with people who are on the same page as you are, or at least are going to use common sense to not do something so drastic that is going to um, mess up your efforts. Okay, so that's where I'm getting from that card. And so this is actually from the Messenger Oracle deck card, and this is actually our last one. I'm getting be vigilant. Keep going. Do not give up. Do not give up the fight because it's going to be a long one. You're in it for the long haul when it comes to any sort of political work, especially when it comes to environmentalism. You are going to be dealing with capitalists, y'all. You're going to be dealing with capitalists. You're going to be dealing with agencies, you know, who help capitalists or assist capitalists in some way, shape, or form. You're going to be dealing with bulldozers. You're going to be dealing with. I'm just seeing like you protesters. You're going to be dealing with entire systems that would like to want land for money, land for profit, certain natural resources such as water, wanting that for profit. Pipelines are going to be fought over or fought against. You're going to be fighting entire bulldozers. You are going to have the cops put calls on you. This is not cute. It was never cute. True, like radical environmentalist work is never cute. It's never sexy, but it is to be done. So you are to not give up. You are to not give up and fight the good fight. All right? Yeah, I'm just noticing that even this tree, this tree is glowing. This tree is vigilant. The tree actually reminds me of a tree of knowledge that is fighting for itself and is actually being um, protected by this dragon. Is being protected. That spirit protecting y'all. Y'all are the trees of knowledge. The environment is this tree of knowledge. It has been here for nearly a millennia. You cannot sit here and tell me it does not have knowledge of what is going on. This is why you're being asked to stay vigilant and to connect with the environment. Ask what, like literally connect energetically with the environment and ask how it's doing. Ask how it's doing. If you're able to connect in that way, shape, or form, and you're not by yourself, there's no reason for y'all to give up. If you are to take a break from the work, that's one thing, but giving up is not an option. Especially if you're being called to do this, it's not an option. On that note, that's all I have for this video for the Daily Messenger, September 19th, 2019. If that resonated with you in any way, shape, or form, please let me know. Like, subscribe to the channel. Also, I would love to hear your comments. If you would like a more in-depth reading, you can go to thebowtiepsychic.com to schedule an appointment. Also, you can follow me on Facebook and Instagram. I'm also on there. I'm going to try Twitter one more time. I think that I could do Twitter. We'll see. I always felt like you had to be clever in order to do all that. But we'll see. Anyway, thank you so much for sharing your energy with me. Thank you for your time. I really appreciate it. And again, let me know if this all resonates with you in every way, shape, or form, because that was a lot. So, again, thank you so much. Until next time, peace.